One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is Black. One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is a woman.
A face scarred for life by fanatics. Just 17 years old, Shamsia's crime? She was walking to school, a girls' school in Kandahar. Doctors have managed to save her eyesight, but she was still too shocked and in too much pain to talk to us. On the next bed, her sister Latifa, 16 years old. She told me two men on a motorcycle had thrown the contents of a black bottle over them. It was battery acid.
Here, hundreds of families rely on this landfill to feed their children.
Todos los días yo sé que voy ahí, traigo todos los días para comer.
Some even eat from it.
Sí, el alimento si está en buena condición y nosotros lo cocinamos.
It can be dangerous.
Es más allá de que corres peligro de cortarte, hay muchas bacterias, tuvimos el cólera.
The global crisis had a detrimental effect in Argentina.
And it's getting really bad. Hundreds of thousands of residents now squeeze into incredibly small apartments, most of them no bigger than a parking space.
So these are cage homes, which basically fit one person and their belongings, and they basically stack these in a room in order to fit as many people as they can in the room.
And yet the price per square foot for these smaller houses just keeps shooting up. I visited these homes to try to piece together an explanation for this trend, and to meet the people who are being squeezed by the world's least affordable real estate market.
Kamatipura, in the center of Mumbai, one of the biggest and most notorious red light districts in all of Asia, crisscrossed by streets upon streets of brothel houses. It's believed at least 20,000 girls are working as prostitutes here. Many of them are underage, and most of them trafficked from the countryside. It's estimated 70% of them have HIV, and most are subjected to extreme violence.
Where IV drug users injecting fentanyl mixed with tranq live under the Kensington Avenue train and battle a double addiction, along with dangerous sores that can lead to amputation.
Los Angeles, the home of some of the most desirable zip codes in the country. But right at the heart of this wealthy metropolis exist conditions that have been described by the city's own newspaper, the Los Angeles Times, as a national disgrace. One expanse of 50 city blocks is an area that's become synonymous with poverty, crime, and homelessness. It's existed for decades and has dogged successive mayoral administrations that have tried to eradicate it. It's called Skid Row.
It's an example of some of the white ghettos in the eastern Kentucky Appalachian Mountains. These communities down here are economically depressed, and the powers that be seem to be keeping it that way. It's like they run off any possibility of bringing in jobs to increase a person's dependent on them. There are people down here who have no functioning utilities, and they sleep on the floor. They don't have water, they don't have septic, and if they do, they probably have the sewage coming up in their yard. They have windows missing.
I need everybody up here close. Everybody that's got a number, I want you to come up here. We're only going to talk one time. Come on.
Okay, guys, listen to me 1 second.
Listen now.
And I'm not saying you're not going to be seen today, but right now we are at the max of what the dental that we can take, you know. But we're going to bring you on in. If you're here for dental, we're still going to bring you in. But right now, we have 5 dentists that did not show up that were promised to be here today. So it's not your fault that it's not your fault that you're not going to get seen. Come on in. We'll get you on in. We'll get you in here. We'll get you processed. And then at the end of the day, I won't let you sit there too long. Whenever I see that you're not going to be seen, I'll sign your paper. We'll get you back out of here, but be back in here by 5:45 in the morning.
Here in the United States, we have the best health care, the best technology, probably the best practitioners. But the problem is, only if you can afford it.
Balancing act, but this is how I did it. Oh, okay. All right.
Oop. Hold on.
I'll go this way. My chin and shoulder are really strong, so I'm able to pick up the pump and stick it in there and simple enough. Press the button.
Done.
Except now this thing. All right. Balancing.
Jeg hedder Jeppe, og jeg er 32. Jeg bor i Valby. Jeg har CP, fordi min mors livmoder sprang under fødslen, så jeg fik ikke nok under fødslen.
Jeg hedder Jesper, og jeg er Jeppes. Det er en ligge-loft-lift, som gør, at min krop ikke bliver slidt. Og vi har selvfølgelig bilen, som gør, at Jeppe kan komme rundt og gøre de ting, han gerne vil. Han ville være meget begrænset, hvis han ikke havde bilen i forhold til sine fritidsaktiviteter, i forhold til...
One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is black. One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is a woman.
Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which, by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents did, and it's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You utilize their history, and you come in here with more emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. More emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. It's embarrassing. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans. It's what's going on right now.